What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Malikah. I am an American content creator currently living in Lebanon, and right now my husband and I are traveling in Jordan. We've only been here a day and it's been absolutely amazing. Right now I'm actually filming from Petra and it's just absolutely incredible. So of course I'm going to take you guys inside, show you more of this amazing site. But I wanted to do this video about some of the things you should know as you plan your trip to Jordan. There's a lot of things I learned in my research and getting ready for this trip, and then just even being here for the time that we've been here. So I wanted to take some time to share it all with you. So keep watching for some of the things you should know about traveling in Jordan. Since we are here in Petra, I'm going to start talking about this amazing monument behind me. This is probably the most famous thing you've seen when you Google Petra, but I have to say, honestly, this site is so much more than just this one piece of it. Petra is an incredible site with over like 100 square miles of history and incredible beauty in this place. So I would strongly suggest you give yourself time in your itinerary to really experience as much of it as possible. Don't be the tourist that walks straight in, takes a picture in front of the treasury, and then walks right out. You will be missing so much. We purchased a 2-day entry pass. We can come here for the afternoon, spend a couple of hours exploring, and then we'll come back again tomorrow morning and see more of the different nooks and crannies and areas that we didn't get to today. And I would highly suggest you do the same, just to allow yourself to experience more at a more relaxed pace. Okay, and so right now we are here in Wadi Rum, and the next thing I'm going to talk about for your travel tips for Jordan is how you're actually going to get around. So we decided to rent a car for this trip, and I highly recommend you do that just to give yourself the added flexibility. So we started in Amman, we made our way down to Petra. It was about a 3-hour drive, and the next day we headed down to Wadi Rum, another like 1.5 to 2-hour drive after that. And I'm really happy that we decided to do so just because it gave ourselves the time to move at our own pace, enjoy the sights, and kind of just have the freedom to do what we wanted, stay later if we wanted, and just kind of like relax and enjoy the journey. So if you are not a comfortable driver, which like myself, I am not a good driver, I have to confess, my husband is graciously doing all the driving on this trip. But if you are not a good driver and you're not traveling with someone who's comfortable behind the wheel, there are a lot of tour guide options you can use. There's a ton that leave from Amman and do different day trips or kind of just like overnight tours, but they will be a lot more expensive and you'll have a lot less flexibility. Most of them are designed to kind of just let you stop in the place, check it off your list, stay for an hour or two, then you get back on the bus or the van and head to the next destination. So you'll end up spending more time of your trip in a bus or a van full of tourists than you will actually absorbing the sights. So we've been driving all around Jordan for about 3 days now, and I have to say that the roads are completely safe. Everything's really paved. There's a lot of signs, especially for the major sites, so it's hard to get lost. If you do lose service, you can always use Google Maps offline, so it's just really easy to get around and drive, so don't be scared about that. We did notice when we were driving in and out of Petra, there was a tremendous amount of fog, like it was driving through a whiteout, which some locals said was kind of common this time of year. We're in January, so just be aware of that when you're driving around in the winter and just exercise extreme caution. Use your hazards, go slowly around these roads because the conditions really were intense. But once we got out of the fog, it was just a really beautiful, easy drive to each destination. So I highly recommend renting a car to get around here in Jordan. Alright, so the next thing to talk about is where you're going to stay in Wadi Rum. So right now you have probably seen this all over Instagram. This is Memories Aisha Luxury Camp, and yes, it is just as incredible as it looks. Behind me are the famous panoramic bubbles, which will run you anywhere from like $400 to $600 a night. So while they are beautiful, they are actually outlandishly expensive. My tip for you to stay here if you want to save a little bit of money is book one of their normal tents. They have executive luxury suites and then also junior suites. We stayed in one of the junior luxury suites, which was a beautiful, well-appointed tent, nice and cozy. They give you guys these free like winter abayas that you can wear to walk around the property and just stay really cozy. The food's delicious, and it's just like been like a really, really fun and unique stay. So you can definitely stay here and get that luxurious camping vibe without breaking the bank on a bubble dome. One thing to know about Wadi Rum is that there is absolutely no service here. And at Memories Aisha Camp, they only have Wi-Fi in one small part of the camp, which is where they have their shisha cafe, which is where you can go for shisha, lounging, and coffee, which a lot of people do to check their phones during their stay. There is not even a single bar of service anywhere else on the grounds. We also got local SIM cards in Jordan at the airport and have had service absolutely everywhere, except this part of the camp is a complete dead zone. So keep that in mind, but use it as a time to really relax, decompress, and get off your phone and just kind of enjoy your time here relaxing. We did some reading and downloaded a whole season of Emily in Paris to catch up on since we have it on my Netflix app for offline use. And right now we are in the Dead Sea in Jordan, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the cost of this trip and just how expensive it is traveling around Jordan, especially because right now we just had an expense that added like a good chunk of change to our final plan for today. So the Jordanian dinar right now is worth about 1.3 to the euro or 1.4 to the dollar. So it's a strong currency, prices are high, and that conversion rate really does not help at all. So if you are planning a trip to Jordan, it unfortunately is not a very budget-friendly destination. So you will have to kind of keep that in mind and stretch your budget a little bit. It's also just one of those places that has such a huge influx of tourism that they can keep the prices elevated because there's always going to be demand to come here. So for this day pass, we had rented a car for most of our trip. We decided to take a little break. My husband was exhausting from driving all over Amman, Petra, and then Wadi Rum. So we decided to kind of take a break from the car and just book a day tour to the Dead Sea. It's close to Amman. It was a reasonable price. It included the round-trip transportation and then also entry passes to a Dead Sea resort. Unfortunately, that resort was of like absolutely horrible, appalling quality. It was on like a really bad side of the beach. The chairs were broken, the towels were dirty, it was just absolutely ridiculous. So we ended up spending an extra 100 JOD to come to the Marriott, which is where we are right now. It's a world of difference. The resort is beautiful. It's on a beautiful patch of beach, so clean, great service. There's also access to the pool and the jacuzzi. So it was definitely for us worth the upgrade. And it's something that while we already came all the way out here, we know we're never going to be here again. So we're like, let's just spend the extra money just to have more fun and make the day worth it. And of course, I understand that that option to upgrade on the spot might not be available to everyone. 100 JOD is probably like $140, so that's really not a small chunk of change, especially if it's the end of your trip and you've already spent a ton of money. So just plan more carefully. If we would have planned more carefully, we would have checked out the resort that was included with the guide, or potentially just kept the car for another day because it would have been a lot cheaper to do that. But for now, we're gonna go get into this Dead Sea, do some floating, hit the jacuzzi up in the hotel, and just enjoy it and get our money's worth for this part of the trip. And while we are at a resort, I'm going to talk a little bit about the availability of alcohol in Jordan, or actually the lack thereof. So generally speaking, Jordan is a almost dry country. You really can't get alcohol anywhere except for the big international chain hotels. Even right now we're at the Marriott, we came here for the Dead Sea. We could get drinks at the pool, but not in the restaurant. So it's kind of like they don't really serve like food and drinks together. So we're drinking at the pool, but you can't get food, and the restaurant you can get food, but not drinks. And that was the case at a few other hotels that we went to. They're generally just very, very separated. So just be prepared for that as you're planning your trip. If you're a big drinker and you like to kind of drink a lot and enjoy your alcohol when you're on vacation, I know that I do, so it's a judgment-free zone. Just be prepared that you will have to tone it down a little bit, or you have to pick restaurants that are only in big chain hotels and call them in advance to see if they will serve you alcohol with dinner. Not that it's like we serve alcohol in the bar, but you can't have a glass of wine with your meal. And especially in Wadi Rum, because none of those hotels had alcohol, like we stayed in Aisha Memories luxury camp, they had literally everything else to offer you except for alcohol. Like beautiful, imaginative, amazing mocktails and juices, but nothing to drink. And if you're like me and the idea of glamping in the desert with no wine is appalling to you, make sure you bring your own wine or your own alcohol and just get mixers when you're at the resort. So just once again, as you're planning your trip, be sure that you bring your own, but don't import your own into the country. You can even pick some up in the airport duty-free when you land, or find like a local liquor store or bar that might sell to you. When we went to Wadi Rum from Petra, we found a bar that sold bottles to go. So we just picked up a bottle to go when we went to Wadi Rum and took that with us to the desert. So just another helpful planning tip for your trip to Jordan.
Okay, and so the last thing I wanted to talk about Jordan while I get ready is basically about the need to dress appropriately when you are exploring town. Jordan is a conservative country, a lot of people are Muslim, it's Arabic culture, and it's not like, you know, Lebanon or Dubai where you just like wear whatever you want. Like it is It is a conservative society, so when you're dressing, you need to be like respectful of that. It's just their culture and how it is. So if you are at the Dead Sea in a resort, that's a little bit different. Or if you're in like Aqaba at a resort, those are a little bit different because they know it's a resort and everyone's gonna be like swimming and wearing bikinis and stuff. So that's like probably the only place where it is acceptable to like be, you know, not pretty fully covered. Like most other places, you're gonna wanna be wearing like a skirt past your knees, something covering your shoulders. That's just gonna be kind of like the standard. So not your hair covered, not like to the ankle or covering your full arms, but at least like your shoulders, maybe upper arms, and then like past your knees for skirts. And of course, this only applies to ladies. Guys will like wear whatever you want. I mean, I guess don't go out with no shirt on, but you know, wear whatever you want. So I'm gonna put on screen some of my outfits, like things that I packed and wore in Jordan, just to give you an idea. And also when I went, it was a little bit cooler, so it was easy to dress in layers and stay comfortable. If you're going in the summer, that might be a little tricky because you'll get hot. So just think like long, loose, flowy maxi dresses and skirts and that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna get ready to get out of here and I will catch you guys later.
Alright guys, and that is a wrap on the Jordan vlog. I'm heading out to my next destination. If you guys want to know where that is, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay abreast with my travels and everything else that we are getting into on this pretty long trip around the world. Again, if you like that video and you want to know more, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Right now I'm only at 1,300 followers. You could be 1,301. Give your girl some love. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next video. If you want to guess where I'm going, let's see if this airport behind me gives anything away. If you've been here before and you recognize it. Catch you guys later.